This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
6:32 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's great to have you with us today on the Morning Drive. A couple things here from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Somebody saw Ryan Sublette pitch last night against the Rockhounds, and he says appears to be doing okay. Still has that nasty slider.
Awesome.
Okay. So it would be great to see him in the big leagues. Someone else wanted an ETA for Josh Young coming back. Jeff said looking like early to mid-June now. So would be good for the Rangers to get him back in the lineup as well. Seemed to be a little dinged up. Rangers are off today. They'll start a weekend series tomorrow in Denver against the Colorado Rockies. We'll have that game for you after the Red Raider Oklahoma State game tomorrow night. Same thing on Sunday pending. We'll have high school baseball for you on the air tomorrow, as well as the playoffs are getting ready to get underway for the high schoolers. And we'll just kind of start at the top in Class 6A. Friendship will take on Keller. That'll come to us from Graham. We'll have that for you tomorrow on Sunny 97.7 and the Sunny 97.7 mobile app. If you're out and about or you have other activities. Game 2 will be at 2 o'clock on Saturday. We'll have that on Sunny 97.7 as well. And then Game 3 would be 1 hour after that, if it's necessary. Lubbock Cooper Pirates will take on Hanks. They're out of El Paso. These games will come to us from Fort Stockton. You'll hear them on 100.7 The Score. Game 1 is tomorrow at 5. And then Game 2 of that game will be Saturday morning at 11. And again, that game will be on 100.7 The Score as well. And then Game 3, if necessary, will be 30 minutes after that game. Also in action will be the Monterey Plainsmen. They'll take on Clint Horizon as their opponent in the baseball playoffs, and those games will be in Pecos. Okay, that'll be Friday night, Saturday, and then Game 3 would be 30 minutes after Game 2 on Saturday, if that is necessary. Okay, so that's some of the games for you coming up, and again we'll have Lubbock Cooper softball against Monterey tonight at 6. On Double T 97.3. That's Game 1. Game 2 of that would be tomorrow. Okay, so kind of keep all those. It's going to be a lot of juggling. Game 2 would be on 93.1 Texas FM. That'll be at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So a lot of balls in the air, which is good. You know, a lot of softballs, baseballs. You know, shot puts, things like that in the air.
Yeah.
You don't want to catch the shot puts.
That means we're in the playoffs.
Right, absolutely.
We're past the first round, so that means teams are winning. Those are good things.
Those are good things. Absolutely.
And T-minus 1 week to the most important week of high school baseball season. I think it's next week. Graduation? Prom was last week.
It's coming up. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm not going to get baited into that today.
I didn't say today.
Today. I'm not going to get...
We're like a week out. We got plenty of time.
No. You're more than that. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's high school graduations.
Oh, so 3 more weeks.
Yeah, you got a lot of winning left. You got a lot of winning left. The question will be how many teams will be left for us to even be worried about that.
Well, clearly all of them, because our teams are awesome.
We'll see. Hey, do
you not believe all of our teams are awesome?
No, I don't. I mean, they might be...
Chuck hates high school baseball. That's what it is now.
Oh, boy. We're going to run with that narrative. You're blind. Texas Rangers made a trade with the White Sox. They reacquired Robbie Grossman from the Chicago White Sox. He'll be a guy that will get at-bats as the designated hitter or outfielder against left-handed guys. Chris Young saying, historically a very good platoon split guy from the right side, or an area that we need a little assistance. Beyond that, the intangibles he brings, veteran presence, quality of at-bat, he's exactly what we need. He actually made it to the Bay Area, made it to Oakland. so he went from Atlanta to Oakland, okay, and was available. But Bruce Bochy said he didn't want to mess up his lineup, nor did he want to risk an injury for Robbie Grossman after a long travel day.
Smart.
Yeah, smart. Veteran manager. And then Robbie Grossman promptly got on another plane after the game last night and went to Denver with the team. So he went from Atlanta to Oakland to Denver.
Good.
Might have been just easier for him to meet him in Denver, but hey.
It might have been, but who knows?
But that's not where the team was, and he's a team guy.
Right.
Rangers could have used him, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so.
May have been a desperate situation.
May have been a desperate.
And if you watch the ninth inning, he might have been able to get you out in that bottom of the ninth inning last night.
And we said earlier, Dane Dunning goes on the 15-day injured list. This is retroactive to Sunday. A strained rotator cuff in his pitching shoulder. But they say, this is what they say, but anytime you hear strained rotator cuff, immediately you just think of send him off to Dr. James Andrews. He's expected to return after the minimum time on the injured list, though. Okay. We shall see.
Which tells you that line of thinking is inaccurate.
Yeah. Okay, so I did not check the box score, but somebody else has for me. Apparently, Robbie Grossman did get into the game. Let's see here. Let me look at the.
What?
He did. He got 2 at-bats. Well, I mean,
we've never been wrong on this show before.
I'm reading an article that was, I guess, published either right before the second game or as the game was being played. But Grossman went 0 for 2. So thank you. He struck out once.
Say we're not used to being wrong.
I mean, not always accurate, not always fair. Just,
just winging it on the reg.
Happy to entertain. No, I'm not winging it. Happy to entertain. No, I just didn't look at the box score with great detail. Okay, I didn't double check that. But thank you. All right, 6:40 this morning here.
So that's why he couldn't fly straight to Colorado.
That's why he couldn't. Right? Yeah. It's because they went ahead and used him. Bruce Bochy goes, "Hey, you all right down there? Your leg's good." Yeah, I got him stretched out, Coach. Yes, Skip. Excuse me. In baseball, it's Skip. Got him stretched out, Skip. I'm good.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Drive, time for this day in sports history. Today is May the 9th, 2024. And with that, here is Jeff McGuire.
To let you know, Chuck, I did something specifically for you today since you were back after missing yesterday.
Okay.
And I think you'll figure out what that is later.
All right.
But we're going to start in 1937 because the Reds beat the Phillies 21-10. I'm going to say that score again to remind you it's baseball season. 21-10.
Were the Rangers pitchers involved in that?
No, they were not. Ernie,
sure that wasn't the Bengals over the Eagles.
I'm sure it wasn't the Bengals over the Eagles. It was the Reds and the Phillies, 21-10. Ernie Lombardi goes 6 for 6.
That's a good day.
1961, Baltimore Oriole Jim Gentile hits 2 grand slams versus the Minnesota Twins. Gets a total of 9 RBI in the game.
Wonder if his nickname was Gentleman Jim Gentile.
That would have been a good one.
Yeah.
If he was a gentleman.
Yeah, right.
I mean, maybe he was a jerk.
He might have been.
1973.
Maybe he was Jerk Jim.
Jerk Jim could be. Yeah.
1973. For the second time, Johnny Bench hits 3 home runs in a single game. They should keep an eye on that Johnny Bench guy. I think he's going to be pretty good. 1989, in the same game for the New York Mets, Kevin Esther errors after 88 errorless games at shortstop. And Rick Sereno errors for gets his first error after 159 games at catcher.
Kevin Elster?
No, it's a Cerone.
And Rick Cerone.
Rick Cerone, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rick Cerone.
Kevin Elster was the first name you mentioned.
Got it.
Yeah, Rick Cerone, yeah.
Rick Cerone, the former Yankee.
Former Yankee, right.
In 2009, Texas Tech snapped a 5-year, 23-series road losing streak with an impressive 12-6 win over number 10 Kansas State. A.J. Ramos picked up the win and improved to 2-0 in his career against Kansas State, going 6 1/3 innings, allowing 2 runs on 6 hits and 5 walks with 7 Ks. And in 2010, former Red Raider baseball player and current Oakland Athletics pitcher Dallas Braden becomes the 19th pitcher to throw a perfect game, beating the Tampa Bay Rays 4-0 on Mother's Day. Happy National Butterscotch Brownie Day.
I can occasionally get behind the butterscotch brownie.
Oh, I thought you were a huge fan of
the blonde. It's a blonde brownie. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Oh, is that different than a blonde brownie?
I think the butterscotch has the butterscotch chips in it.
Probably is. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've had it with the chocolate brownie too, though.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's got to be a blonde. I'm not opposed to the blonde brownie.
Yeah.
Chips.
Yeah, you just put butterscotch chips in a chocolate brownie.
Yeah, the blonde brownie is with the chocolate, but you could do the butterscotch there as well.
Happy birthday to Mr. Piano Man himself, Billy Joel, is 74.
Mm-hmm.
Prince Fielder is 40.
Wow. Just 40.
That was the exact thought I had when I wrote that down this morning.
Just 40.
Calvin Murphy, 76. And on this day in 1974, the House of Representatives Judiciary Committee, that shouldn't be a hard word to say, but apparently it is, opens impeachment hearings against President Richard Nixon, voting to impeach him on 3 counts starting on July 30th. The impeachment was the result of the scandal involving the burglary of the offices of the Democratic National Committee in the Watergate apartment complex in Washington, D.C. on June 23rd, 1972. Eventually, it was learned that there was a criminal cover-up that went all the way to the White House.
No.
And that is this day in sports history.
All right, this day in sports history. So, let me give you this first, the secret word here, and a lucky local winning word. It's only secret because only I and several others know this word at this particular moment, but I'm about to reveal it to you. Double T 97.3 in the home zone, making your house a home, have teamed up to give away a total of $10,000 to lucky local listeners, many of whom have already won, collected their cash, and probably spent it. All you have to do to get registered to win is go to doublet973.com, enter this secret word I'm about to give you, and it could be a lucky local winning word for you. We do this every weekday at this time, 8:45 and at 4:45 in the afternoon. After I give it to you, go to doublet973.com, enter it for your chance to win weekly cash every Tuesday and Thursday. That would be today. Somebody's going to win some cash today. This is not a national contest. It's a local one. People that drive up and down Avenue Q, just like you and me, could win this cash today of $250. Okay? So all you have to do is right now go to doublet973.com and enter this word, Chiefs. Chiefs. Chiefs is the word.
I'm glad that wasn't yesterday when you weren't here.
I know.
That would have been sad.
I would have been devastated.
Would have been a missed opportunity.
You're right. Chiefs. 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 Okay? All right. So go to doublet973.com, enter that in, and you could win from Double T 97.3 in the home zone, making your house a home.
Jamie, are we giving bonus entries if you write in chefs?
Probably not. Probably not bonus. I mean, we'd still
accept it, right?
Yeah, you'd still probably get it. Yeah,
I still accept it. Prince Fielder has not played.
I can't believe you guys think he's only 40. Remember, he retired early.
Well, no, right now, but I mean,
I'm surprised he's 40 years old. He retired early because of injuries.
Right. And I was just getting ready to tell you, in 2016 is when he
dropped off. Like, he was pretty good, and then, 2 years later, he was out of the sport.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a neck injury. But, I mean, he was done, basically, at, 32 years of age. I mean, it's sad. But, I mean, it just seems like,
Is that right? He hasn't played baseball in 8 years?
Since 2016.
Wow. Yeah, I can't believe he's 40. You guys are shocked he's only 40. I can't believe he's that old.
I just don't think of players retiring from an injury as young as he was when he retired.
Yeah.
Which is why I knew he was young, if you told me he was 45, I'd have believed it.
Especially with today's technology. I mean, there hasn't even been any discussion of him even attempting a comeback. I mean, he has literally dropped off the face of the earth. What?
Has he really literally dropped off? He's gone off of the face of the earth.
Gone.
He defied gravity. He's in the middle of the space.
So where exactly is he now?
I don't know. He's dropped off the face of the earth.
He's on his way to Mars.
If you have a chance, Google Billy Joel singing Piano Man at the Mets Stadium during the World Series. He's reluctant to do it, but once he starts doing it and the fans see him up in the suites and he's singing and he gets into it, I mean, it's just awesome. It's just awesome to see Billy Joel singing Piano Man with the rest of the fans there at the Mets Stadium during a baseball game. I think it's really, really cool.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I tell you, I enjoy the challenge of putting a lineup together and a bullpen and a starting pitcher daily, and have never thought one time, man, there's not enough there to go win the game. Not one time. And so maybe I don't see what y'all see as far as that goes. To me, that's our job. No matter what you have, you got to have enough other guys, to collectively go try to win the game and play good baseball. I guess there'll be a time where I look at what you're looking at, but right now I'm not going there. Right now we're going to Stillwater with 30 guys. And, to me, like 30 guys, for crying out loud, only 9 of them played a time. I mean, you ought to be able to win a baseball game. And so, it's about playing the game the right way, obviously doing the things that the game asks you to do. But I guess at some point I'll get there. But like there just hadn't had that just yet.
7:16 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Comments from baseball coach Tim Tadlock yesterday. He was asked about how he looks at all the injuries that his team has had, and just kind of scratch your head about it.
I thought that was the comment that was most interesting to me yesterday. Just the mindset. I mean, okay, so we all know that there's a little coach speak in every coach, right?
Sure.
All right. If you don't think that, first off, I love the approach of no excuses. Hey, we got 30 guys. Mm-hmm. We can play. Okay. And they got more than 30. They have other ones to choose from too, but only 30 that they can travel with, right? We got to play. We're not making excuses over our losses of all these pitchers. We're not making excuses for that. And the other part of it is you don't want to be disrespectful to the guys that you have stepping in, right?
Sure.
Because if you're like, hey, we have no chance to win right now, what are you saying about the guy that's filling in? Man, I think this guy's terrible. He can't beat Oklahoma State. You can't say that, right? No. But I just think there's a little bit of coach thing speak and everything that you said. And at a certain point, I'm sure that coaching staff has sat down, just like any other coaching staff has, and said, they just look at each other and like, when is the bad luck going to stop? When do we stop losing these guys, right? And so I think Coach Tadlock is saying all the right things and saying, hey, we're not using it as excuses, and we're not letting the guys, say, hey, we're gonna lower our expectations because we don't have certain guys available to us. Even though we all fully know how much harder it is for them to win.
The reality of it.
The reality is without the 5 guys that they have. But I feel like that's the right approach to take.
Yeah, I love the fact we're taking 30 guys. You can only play 9 at a time. We ought to be able to win a baseball game. And
what I would want to say to Coach Tadlock is, we'd like you to win at 2, not A. We'd like you to win 2.
But I think also there's the point to his team when he says something like that, whether they read it or hear it or see it or anything like that. There's that point of, hey, yeah, you know what? He's right. There are 30 of us, and just because we're missing some guys doesn't mean that the rest of us can't step up a little bit too.
Yeah, you just don't want guys to try to do too much.
Too much, right? Kind of do your job kind of thing, and don't try to do somebody else's. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting comment, and I thought this one was too from him when he was asked, "Are things starting to close in on them with how the last 2 weeks have gone?"
Yeah, I mean, that's really a drawn-out, really good question. I mean, I think you could ask the guys that question. I think our staff, I can speak for myself. I really enjoy what we do. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy watching the process of them go day to day. Enjoy trying to get them to play at a high level. And so, to me, there's still a window there where they can still play at a high level. And obviously, it's you could say, I don't know how you worded the first of the question. You said closing in, and I said window. So I guess, again, like, you just want to play good baseball. To me, like, there's got to be enough respect for the game that it presents a challenge whether things are going good or bad. Like, if it had all gone great till now, you still should be trying to play, as good as you can tomorrow, right, or Friday.
It's Tim Tadlock on his baseball team and kind of how things have gone for them the last couple of weeks. Obviously not swimmingly with a couple of sweeps back to back, and now you're taking on another really, really good team, a team that's in contention for a Big 12 title and has a ton to play for this weekend. So you're going to get, I don't know if you're getting them at their best in terms of their roster or their strength, but you're certainly going to get their full effort because they have a lot to play for over the next few days,
and possibly even working themselves into a hosting role or whatever. I don't know if this is an ignorant comment or not, but to me, it's not even about playing Oklahoma State. It's more to what Coach Tadlock is saying there. I mean, you're playing, to me, to actually put together really good baseball on the road consistently. This is a team right now in the situation they're in. It can't be just about the opponent because it's got to be about who you are. And you haven't been able to be consistent on the road, and especially on the offensive side of the ball. You haven't been able to come up with just, the key hits and drive-in runs on the road for whatever reason. And, part of that is because, it feels like the wind's been blowing in where you've played or the ball hasn't carried, whatever, and that's how you score runs. But, it comes down to, it's not always about how many home runs you can hit, but it's can you drive in runners? And that's what this team's looking to do. I think Oklahoma State's a really good baseball team. Both offensively and defensively, and pitching wise, they're an impressive unit. I think they have a way better chance to go deep in the postseason than Oklahoma does. I think they have a deeper pitching staff than Oklahoma. You see Oklahoma's struggles in the midweek. That speaks to them not having the depth to be able to, win in Omaha or advance deep into the NCAA tournament. Whereas Oklahoma State, I feel like, has a better roster, to be completely honest with you. But to me, it's not about Oklahoma State. And that Coach Tadlock talking about, hey, you just, every day you want to play a little bit better. You want to play the game the right way. You want to do what the game asks you to do. His team hasn't been able to do that enough this year. And so to me, it's about, can you get this team playing their best? They're talented enough to do it. It's just a matter of can they live up to that talent level? Can they do the little things? Because sometimes that's what it's really about.
And I think too, just not giving up the extra outs and just making some plays defensively to get yourself out of innings and help your pitcher out a little bit, or like you said, getting them. Base hit when you've got runners at second and third, or whatever.
Or advance the runners when you have runners at second, third. Ground out, fly out, whatever. Mm-hmm. You do that in the 9th on Sunday, and you get that game to extras. Give yourself a chance to win. And too many empty at-bats. Too many, balls in play where you're not getting outs. Too many, extra bases given up, whatever.
Sometimes you've almost made it too easy on the other team to beat you. When you've just not had competitive at bats or tried to make it competitive. So hopefully a better weekend for the Red Raiders. They'll play Oklahoma State tomorrow night, and then Saturday night as well. We'll have the games for you at 5:30. First pitch just after 6, and then Sunday as well. Tomorrow, Ryan Free goes to the mound for the Red Raiders, and we'll see what happens.
You said a few times that Oklahoma State has a lot to play for. I don't disagree with that, but I think you've still got a lot to play for. Mm-hmm. Okay, your postseason life depends on. I think this weekend is the biggest decider. Okay, you should have a motivated bunch. Can you step up?
Yeah, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. 7.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to talk some Red Raider football right now.
Okay, cool.
And it is a two-parter, and you get to be positive on one, and you get to be, unfortunately, negative on the other.
Do you think we do better with the two-part questions than we do just with the simple, point-blank question? Because I feel like that when we have the chance to meander a little bit, we do better with it as opposed to when you just ask us a point-blank question, because I think we tend to meander even more with that.
Well, the request has been made by some that we don't meander, that we answer the question. Mm-hmm. And then all three of us answer the question, and then the discussion comes afterwards. Okay. And that we don't meander. Do we remember that request?
Who did that request come from? You?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are reasons. Right. Okay. I would say no, it's not better when we do two-parters because usually at least one of us does not give two parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to be better.
I didn't say you.
No. I know that I'm a violator of this.
All right, so there's one answer here that is off the board for both of them.
Okay.
Baron Morton's health. Okay. Cannot answer with Baron Morton's health.
All right.
Fill in the blank. Texas Tech will win 9 games or more if fill in the blank. Second part. Texas Tech will win 6 or less games if fill in the blank.
Mm. Okay. I feel like that your receiving group has to be exponentially better than what it was last year, whether it's downfield, mid-range, tight end blocking, that you've got to become more you got to become less predictable. And I think the easy answer to a degree is Taj Brooks is going to run and have, 1,000-yard rushing season. All that's could be fine, but I think you've got to be multidimensional, and I don't know that you were multidimensional enough to keep the opposing defense off guard. Okay, so that's to win the 9 games. You've got to be more multidimensional on offense. Okay, less predictable. Defense, I think if your defense isn't as good as what Tim DeRuyter made it sound like it's going to be on Monday, because he was pretty excited about his front four and his linebacking core and the depth overall of the defense. So I'll just say if the front four and the linebackers don't prove out to be as good as he thinks they are right now, you're not going to be able to stop people, and you can't score enough points to win enough games.
Okay.
Texas Tech will win 9 games or more if they remember that they are a running football team first. I'm going to say that again because I want to make sure that it gets out there. That you're a running football team first. Don't forget that you have Taj Brooks in the backfield for a half after your quarterback gets hurt on the road, and you put in a guy who's never thrown a Big 12 pass before. Texas Tech will not. What's the bottom 6 games?
6 or less.
6 or less. Texas Tech will win 6 or less games if they try to be something that they're not. If you are trying to fit a square peg into a round hole this year, it's going to end badly. whether that be trying to throw the ball all over the field when your quarterback doesn't have the arm, whether you're trying to get away from your run game, whether you're trying to blitz and not having any effectiveness in it and just get smoked on it. Like we've seen so many times that this team in the last couple of seasons has tried to do too much of something when it's not working, that if you do that too much, you're going to dig yourself into holes you can't get out of.
Okay. I'm going to start with the positive one. I think Texas Tech wins 9 or more games if we see a market improvement within the offensive line. Whether it's Baron Morton or one of the other guys back there. I think a really good offensive line, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, but a really good offensive line can help out a young or an inexperienced quarterback or whoever, or a great quarterback. And so if we're going to get more production out of the passing game, then I think that you've got to have better offensive line play. If you're going to be what you think you should be with Taj Brooks in the backfield, if you're going to reach that, peak potential, then your offensive line's got to be better and let Taj, create some lanes. I know the stat last year about him breaking more tackles than anybody in college football is impressive, and at the same time you're like, hey, how about he not have to break all those tackles?
Yeah, right.
How about we block somebody sometimes? That'd be cool. So I just think we need more consistency and better play in the offensive line. Okay, that would be huge for me. As far as if you're going to end up 6 wins or less, I think it has to do with you being really terrible in the turnover department. And that's on both sides of the ball. You're not forcing turnovers. You're not getting after the quarterback and forcing bad passes, and you're not creating fumbles. And then at the other side of the football, whether it's Morton or whether it's somebody else, that you're losing the turnover battle every day because you're throwing too many picks, or your wide receivers are putting the ball on the turf, whatever. I think this team is way more talented, and the schedule is, it's just hard to believe that you could only be at 6 wins on the season, looking at the schedule, the way it plays out for you. So to me, the best way to lose to a team that you shouldn't lose to is lose a turnover battle. And so that's why I feel like if you're going to lose 6 or less, you're going to flounder in the turnover department.
Okay. I think I would have predicted offensive line for you, and I think I would have predicted Taj Brooks running. I like the turnover battle. I like the thought on the offensive line too. I think you're spot on with that, and I think Jeff makes great points with regard to Taj, especially if you're not with a healthy quarterback. Sometimes you got to run the ball.
I think a good passing game, though, would help Taj in that run game a ton. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like you in thinking that they need to get more production out of their passing game than they did a year ago. And again, that will just open things up for the run game.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
This morning on the Morning Drive, good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We will have Astros baseball on the air for you later on today on 100.7 The Scores. They take on the New York Yankees. They'll try to salvage something from New York besides a slice or a hot dog. We'll see what they do. I wonder if those guys take slices on the way out of town with them.
I wouldn't guess they do.
You wouldn't guess they do? You're probably right about that.
They're getting on a plane with like a
slice.
Just a slice, just walking on with a plate, just walking on with a slice. I'm not seeing that. Now, do they get one while they're there? Yeah, sure, but I bet they don't take them with them.
They might have some slices at the, post game, on the bus to ride to the airport or something along those lines. We'll have Lubbock Cooper softball on the air for you tonight as they take on Monterey at the Plainsman's Place. That'll be at Game 1. Game 2 tomorrow. We'll be at Lubbock Cooper, and we'll have that for you on 93.1 Texas FM. That's at 4 o'clock. Game 1 is tonight on Double T 97.3 at 6 o'clock. All right, some reaction on the Yates Flooring Center chat line with regard to Jamie's question of the day, which was, to finish in the top, to finish with 9 wins or more, you have to do X, and lose 6 or more, you would not do this. One person says 9 or more, finish top 3 in the conference in offensive production. 6 or less, finish in the bottom 3 in offensive production. All right, that's pretty Captain Obvious kind of stuff there.
Well, but I mean, you're totally putting and saying that this is about the offense, right? We're confident in our defense, and we feel like the defense is going to be solid. He's that texter. She is saying that the determining factor of how good you're going to be is about how good is your offense going to be.
This win 9 games if the offensive pass blocking is above average and your quarterback has time to go through progressions. Oh, okay. Win 6 games or less if there is a drop-off in your running game due to bad run blocking. If your run blocking is bad, chances are your pass blocking will be bad as well. You buy into that?
Some of that. I mean, that's probably the majority of the time. If you're not good at one, you're not good at the other. But I mean, sometimes it goes the opposite way, though, where I felt like last year you were pretty good run blocking, but weren't great at pass blocking.
Yeah. This is probably fair. Sentex Hank says Chuck's nickname is Mr. Meander. I think
close to Mr. Miyagi.
I almost watched that movie the other night. It was.
I was about to say, he still doesn't know who that is, so he doesn't get how cool that could be as a compliment.
It's one of those things, though, right? That you don't want to watch it because the rest of us have said.
No. I don't have that. No, that stubbornness is purely reserved for Star Wars. The Karate Kid stuff is more just. It just wasn't my thing. There have been some times when I've seen it coming on, like, I should watch that movie just so I get it. But I do not have any. There's no. I will never ever watch that. You can sit me in front of a movie and tie my hands behind my back and force my eyelids open. No, I mean I don't have that feeling about Karate Kid.
And you have one of yours is one of your grandsons is a karate kid, right?
Yeah, he's black belt.
So he probably would like it.
He probably would. The young phenom would probably like that. Maybe I should.
As long as he doesn't try the crane kick on the younger phenom.
Well, the little phenom, he
little phenom, my bad.
No, that's okay.
This is his now 3rd nickname, though.
Yeah, no, he's not Boy Wonder anymore.
Well, he wants to be a phenom because he's 4 years old. He's a phenom. He wants to be a phenom.
Sometimes you have to put your foot down, Chuck.
Well,
you don't get to pick what your nickname is. It's given to you.
I mean, Boy Wonder / Little Phenom. But we're the phenoms. I call them now. Just collectively, I just call them the phenoms.
Where we are in 2024, you can have multiple nicknames, just whatever you want.
The phenoms.
You can associate with whatever you want to be on that given day.
Everybody gets a phenom.
I was trying to teach him how to play pool the other day, and he was telling me he knew how to do it. I'm like, okay, listen, I know how to do it. I'm like, okay.
Sounds like he's got big boss confidence.
He does. Yes.
And just remember, everybody, no blood.
So anyway,
this is a pure case.
We have a handshake
of nurture versus nature.
We have me and the phenoms. We have a handshake. We have a handshake that we go through.
Oh, like when you're going through
when they're
starting
leading.
lineup line, or whatever.
Me and the young phenom have one, and the little phenom. But it always ends with phenoms forever.
All right.
Okay.
That's
so
good.
we have.
Do you get capes to go with this?
No capes. No.
Are you the old phenom?
I think they would refer to me as the old phenom. Yeah. That's what the young phenom calls me, the old phenom.
So you guys need to get like sweatshirts, mate.
Phenoms.
Just say phenoms.
Phenom.
Yeah.
Yeah. OP. Old phenom.
Texas Tech jerseys.
Yeah.
Old phenom, young phenom, little phenom.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There we go.
And have the numbers be their birth year.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea. That's actually not a bad idea, but then I would be an offensive lineman. I'm more of a quarterback. That's kind of how I view things.
What year were you born?
60.
Those are offensive linemen? Okay, my bad.
That number would be an offensive lineman.
I was thinking that you wanted a 12 or something, and
yeah, I want to be.
Okay. I had that backwards in my mind.
Yeah. Anyway, we got off on that. So me and the Phenoms, we've got it going on right now. We're in good shape. All right, so what I wanted to get to, and we have plenty of time. We'll have a couple minutes here, then we'll continue on with it. Is I saw this article about, and basically what it was is the 5 easiest 2024 football schedules. Okay, this is one person's opinion. Okay, and they have 5 teams that they've listed here. The Red Raiders, they say, are one of the 5 teams that have the easiest football schedule in the Big 12. And it kind of goes back to the winning of 9 or not getting to 6. And you made the comment of, with as easy a schedule as you have, it's hard to see not getting to 6.
Yeah. Yeah, even if the injury...
even if you have a quarterback that's injured. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you those 5 teams and tell you where the Red Raiders sit. And we'll get your guesses on that. And again, this is one person's opinion. Whether this is accurate or not, obviously, time will tell. So we'll see about that.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.